Tenastalin. Allow me first to thank the organizers of the Bikila award ceremony for enabling me to speak to you, not only Toronto's Ethiopian community, but Canada's and North America's Ethiopian community this evening. I'm honored to participate in this celebration, which recognizes and promotes the wealth and richness of Ethiopia's ancient and enduring cultural heritage. From the historical viewpoint, a major challenge in this regard is the capacity to separate fact from fiction. That is, in a culture in which popular understanding of the past is derived largely from legend, the difficulty is to determine the extent to which legend is based on actual facts. The task is difficult, if for no other reason than that before the 16th century, we have little documentary evidence to rely on. What we do have requires constant reevaluation and reinterpretation of a literate culture, a unique literate culture, which goes back for more than 2,000 years before that. Why then, if our understanding of the past is so constantly in flux, are we concerned with it? In other words, why study history? One might compare history to the curriculum vitae, or resume, of the job seeker. The curriculum vitae reflects an individual's personal history and provides evidence of competence and experience. Without it, the prospects of employment are virtually nil. The history of a culture serves the same purpose. It distinguishes a people from any other and provides them with a sense of their uniqueness. It also serves as a source of pride and consequently of self-confidence. The importance of knowing one's cultural history is to provide one with a firm foundation upon which to comprehend the present and build the future. Unfortunately, however, the younger generations living in Ethiopia today show little interest in that extensive past which preceded the Italian occupation of 1936 to 1941. In the spring of 2013, I taught the cultural history of Ethiopia to PhD students in the history department at Addis Ababa University. All of them were preparing to write their dissertations on the period 1945 to the present. None were trained or equipped to deal with the previous 3,000 years of recorded Ethiopian history. Ethiopian Studies is a relatively new discipline founded by Italian and German scholars in the late 19th and early 20th century, who, following World War II, were joined by others scattered across the rest of Europe. Major contributions are regularly being made, most recently by the appearance of the Encyclopedia Ethiopia, an international collaborative work consisting of over 5,000 pages led by the Africa-Asia Institute of Hamburg University in Germany and completed in 2014. Virtually all writing in Ethiopia before 1863 was performed by scribes who conveyed the content of religious texts by hand to parchment and paper. Millions of such handwritten works survive in Ethiopia. But today, this enormous corpus is quickly deteriorating for the lack of means to preserve it, both among Christian and Muslim communities. We have led several expeditions funded by St. John's University in Minnesota, the British Library, and the Asia-Africa Institute in Hamburg to digitize some of those endangered archives. But there is currently a popular movement fueled by the media to curtail such efforts, in which they refer to digital preservation as digital theft. We are accused of theft. This is the most unfortunate development indeed, as the situation on the ground is becoming desperate. Yet despite the positive efforts of the Ethiopian Embassy in Ottawa, the authorities in Ethiopia, whose job it is to preserve Ethiopia's ancient historical record, are either unable or are reluctant to deal with it. We have, over the past 30 years, nevertheless, managed to work towards such preservation and to promote Ethiopia's artistic and cultural heritage through, first, the foundation of Mazgaba Selet, an online database currently consisting of over 65,000 images of Ethiopian art and culture. Secondly, the online site currently being prepared by the Library of the University of Toronto at Scarborough, containing digitized images of the entire manuscript archive of the monastery of Gunda Gunda in Tigray, that is, some 219 manuscripts and 34,000 pages of text. Thirdly, similar websites sponsored by the British Library for the monasteries of Maiweni and Debre have also been prepared. Fourth, the publication of numerous articles on Ethiopian art, architecture, and manuscript studies, including a work which my colleagues and I are producing at the moment, a forthcoming monograph on the Zagwe Church of Yemrahana Christos, built in a large cave near Lalibela. Then I have my own course, which I offer to students at the University of Toronto Scarborough on the social history of Ethiopia. I think this is the only course dedicated entirely to Ethiopian history, certainly in Canada and possibly in North America. And finally, a new project sponsored by the Arcadia Foundation in the United Kingdom, by which I'm documenting the contemporary making of rock-hewn churches, a craft which has endured for 1,000 years, but which now is on the verge of extinction. For these and other related projects in the future, I would like to solicit the cooperation and collaboration of Toronto's Ethiopian community. Particularly helpful at this point would be assistance in the transcription and translation of video interviews that I have carried out in Amarinya and in Tigrinya, and through connections with persons of authority in facilitating field work, which I plan to undertake later this year and next in Ethiopia. I would also like to encourage the youth of Toronto's Ethiopian community to take an active interest in their heritage, and for the community as a whole to consider doing what other newcomers to Canada have done, which is to found a chair or at least a lectureship in Ethiopian Studies at the University of Toronto. I am fully prepared to assist you in this endeavor to the fullest extent of my abilities. In fact, as a starter, I will match personally any contributions you are prepared to make between now and the end of the year, up to a maximum of $50,000. Thank you.